Off the cuff, TSN 690 with Chris Nilan. I'm Sean Campbell. Excited for this, Chris?
Yes, I am. This fella I had the opportunity to play against. I don't believe I ever scored a goal on him, though. And he backstopped the Edmonton Oilers to 4 Stanley Cups. He was a part of 5 Stanley Cups. Hall of Famer, Grant Fuhr. Grant, how are you, pal?
I'm doing good, Chris. How about you?
I am doing well. Listen, the story of a hockey legend coming out. What made you put your life and your career down on paper?
Over the years, lots of people have asked if I would ever consider it and hadn't really thought much about it. And then the last few years, I get talking to Bruce Dalbig a little bit, and we decided to sit down and see if it was possible to come up with something in some kind of a format that would work where I could tell my story.
Okay. Now, you, again, had some great years with the Edmonton Oilers, 4 Stanley Cups. You backstopped them, too. Now, your time in Edmonton, and I came to Montreal at a time when they had just won 4 Stanley Cups. They were going for 5, and the team was in transition. I thought I was going to win a cup in my first year. Didn't. What was it like winning that first Stanley Cup with the Edmonton Oilers?
It was awesome. I mean, I feel pretty fortunate. It was my second or third year. I mean, my second year, I think we played the finals against the Islanders. And to finally win it in my third year, there's no better feeling than winning a cup. But to do it when you're so young. I mean, most of our guys were somewhere between 21 and 24 years old. I think our oldest guys were maybe 30. So it was like one big happy family, and to do it in Edmonton, which just happens to be a small city, was fabulous.
Now, as small a city as it is, in the number of cups that you guys won together, there was some dark side to your life in Edmonton also.
Unfortunately, with the spoils of winning, you get away with a lot more, which you're winning, you're successful, everybody wants to party with you and such, and I let myself wander down into an area where I probably shouldn't have, but at the same time, for me, it was a learning experience. I mean, I think part of getting through that and still being able to be successful has allowed me to grow into the person that I am.
Well, that's good, because I can certainly understand that dark side all too well. Now, the Edmonton Oilers, 85, 86, the goal off of Steve Smith, how devastating was that to you and your Oiler teammates?
Obviously, for us, we thought we were going to go on a long run of winning cups, and it threw a little chink in the armor. But for myself, it probably didn't have as much meaning because my father had passed away 2 weeks before that. So, yeah, it was a bad moment, but at that time, it wasn't the worst moment in my life. So I had a little easier time dealing with losing than everything else. But at the same time, we also thought we were going to win again. So that it was a tough summer.
Yeah, that was in the middle of your championship run, 84, 85, then no 86, but 87 and 88. In conversation with Grant Fuhr on Off the Cuff with Chris Nilan, I'm Sean Campbell. Grant, I'm curious, a lot of talk when people bring up your numbers, your stats, and all the victories that you had, they always keep turning to the offense. And, you know, Wayne and Paul Goffey and Yeri Curry and Mark Messier. Does that get to you sometimes?
Not at all. I mean, it takes a whole bunch of good teammates to win, so we played a little different style than everybody else. So the numbers weren't going to be shining, but at the end of the day, you're winning, and that's all that matters.
Well, your teammate Wayne Gretzky referred to you as the best goaltender in the National Hockey League ever. Now, I got to tell you, when I was playing in New York and Michel Bergeron was our coach with the Rangers, he would do every pregame meeting the same. He'd end it the same. And we were playing the Oilers that evening in New York, and he went through the lineup and talked about everybody, and this is how he ended every meeting. And he said, tonight, in net, Grant Fuhr, and just shoot on him. He's the worst goalie in the league. And he would say that about every goalie that we played. You know, he'd end every meeting like that. And, of course, we didn't think so. And you certainly had a great career. Your international play, couple of Canada Cups, how meaningful were those for you?
For me, it was a lot of fun. I mean, to get the opportunity to play against the Soviets, the Czechs, the Finns, you like to compare yourself on a world stage to see kind of where you fit in and such. And I mean, growing up, I got to see the 72 series, so to actually get to play in some international hockey, I had a great time with it and was fortunate enough that we had some success.
Grant, I'm curious how you look at goaltenders today versus the goaltenders of the 80s and the 90s, kind of like the advantages that they have today versus the disadvantages you guys had.
I wouldn't say we had disadvantages. It's just the equipment's gotten better, and goalies on a whole have gotten better. They're all bigger. They're all in better shape. They're all physical specimens now. So I think if you take the combination of lighter equipment with better athletes, they're going to be better.
Grant, your time with the Oilers came to an end 90-91, traded along with Glenn Anderson over to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Going from a team that was so stacked like the Oilers and then going to play for a team like the Leafs, who I guess you could say weren't so stacked, what was that like?
For myself, it was a bit of an eye-opener. I mean, in Edmonton, everybody was on the same page. Everybody thought the same way. And Toronto wasn't quite to that point yet. You could see that Cliff was starting to build some teams that were heading towards that point, but there were still some guys that were on a different page than everybody else, and it wasn't as cohesive of Edmonton, so it took a little bit of getting used to.
Are you still playing golf there on the golf circuit there?
I am. I'm still trying to loiter and play as much golf as possible.
Good stuff. Well, listen, we wish you all the best with your book and your future, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
It's great talking to you again, Chris.
All right. Take care, Grant.
Take care.